Hello, this is Matthew Chan. I'm the author of the TurnKey Publisher series of books. And I'm here making another video, and today I want to talk about the concept of accelerated publishing. Now, I came up with the phrase accelerated publishing as a concept. And that concept is, how fast can you deliver an end product starting from your initial idea and concept? Basically, how fast can you go from idea to concept to the end product? And in the publishing industry, I found that there is a tremendous amount of processes and, quite frankly, a lot of fat that's being pushed into the publishing process. I mean, it's been told over and over again that if you want to publish through a New York publisher, fast is trying to get it done in under 18 months. 18 months, we're talking about a year and a half. Let's assume I even exaggerated that. Let's assume it took a whole year. Are you kidding me? I mean, and the reason why I know that's too long is when I was in college, I would do these term papers and so forth, which was almost like mini books in themselves. And it didn't take me a whole year to do that. Granted, writing a book requires more time, effort, and there's more things involved. But to me, it didn't need to be a year. And it turns out I'm right. So, with the concept of accelerated publishing, there is an ongoing effort to always make it quicker, to make it more efficient. And so, whether we're talking about books, audios, or videos, it's all the same. How fast can you get it done? Now, I am going to focus on book publishing because it is the hardest out of the three different formats. The three formats being books, audios, and videos. I want to share with you the broad strokes of how I approach accelerated publishing. Number one, I have to come up with a working title and a concept. It has to be search friendly. And I talked about being search friendly in another video. So I don't want to take time on this particular video. Number two is I have to come up with questions that I, as a host and an interviewer, will want to ask of someone that I'm working with. So if I'm coaching someone, it's important that they are able to deliver a lot of content and information verbally. In order to do that, you have to have good questions, and you have to have a certain amount of, you have to have good interview skills. So the deal is this. Any person can ask you questions on a page, but it takes a special type of person to actually conduct an interview. And because what happens is during the interview, as you carry on the conversation, new topics will come up. Spontaneous things will happen, and you have to adapt the interview to what is being told to you by the interviewee, the person that I'm interviewing. And you have to know a little bit about the subject that you're interviewing. You have to know the author a little bit, or the author-to-be, in order to be able to carry that out. And that's one of the things I'm pretty good at doing. Now, not only am I supposed to be a good host and interviewer, I have to be a good producer. And what I mean by a producer is that I have to be able to direct the overall process. Because as I'm interviewing and carrying this conversation, I'm recording them into my computer through a microphone that I would connect to their lapel or their blouse or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people think that you have to interview from like step 1 to step 2, step 3, step 4, or chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. Yes, it is helpful to be able to do that, but sometimes in the real world it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you have to interview out of order and then put it back in order afterwards. Because number one, you didn't think about it, something new came up, and so you have to insert it in. Number two, I, as a host or interviewer, may not feel up to doing a particular subject, or the person I'm interviewing may not be fully up ready on a particular section. So we have to work around that. So as a producer, I have to be able to coordinate the smaller segments and mentally figure out where it's going to fit in the big picture as I produce as I work towards the manuscript. Once the raw audio recording is completed, one of my jobs is I have to put all the recordings in its right order, and what I normally do is I edit out all the ums and ahs and all the jokes and oh shits and damns and oh hells and all the stuff that sneaks into the recording that the general public never hears. And so that's always a fun exercise. But the whole point of editing all that is not to make it a perfect recording, but to be solid enough so that you can actually deliver the audio product to a professional transcriber. The professional transcriber will then listen to your audio recording, the conversation, and convert it to raw text. And usually they will email it to you in Microsoft Word format. And of course, once you get the Microsoft Word document and the text, you then hire a writer, and they do their thing to the manuscript, make it nice and neat, grammatically correct, and put it in nice order and so forth. And then we give it to an editor and proofreader to clean it up. And at that point, we have a completed manuscript. That is one example of how I implement the concept of accelerated publishing, especially for a person who has no desire or who has no time to write. I hope this video has been informative for you. I am excited about the concept of accelerated publishing. I think that very few people actually do it. And I'm always looking for ways to make my system even more efficient. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in my next video.